From Wall Street to Main Street to help small business owners have the same capital as corporate America and give them the same resources as a larger company. We cover business funding, business credit, scaling, business consulting, and much more. Check out the website at shieldadvisorygroup.com. Welcome to the show, The Liquid Lunch Project.
Hey, welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Liquid Lunch Project. I am Matthew R. Meehan, alongside my partner, the Professor Luigi Rosa Bianca. What do we got going on this week, Lou?
Matt, we've all been thinking it, but today it's official. The pandemic is over. It's time to get back to planning events. Today, our guest is Shay Wheat, a certified event planner and founder of Grace and Ease Productions. And she's going to gracefully ease us into the skill set needed to organize a successful event. Shay, right off the bat, welcome to the Liquid Lunch Podcast. Tell us the unique challenges in organizing a virtual event versus an in-person event where people, God forbid, shake hands.
I love that, Luigi. And can I just take you everywhere with me? Just introduce me wherever I go. That was super fun.
Throw me in a trunk. I'm there for you.
I love it. I love it. So yes, in-person, virtual, hybrid, there's so many things to be thinking about when it comes to planning and producing an event. And each one has its own ups, downs, happy things, not so great things to be thinking and considering when you're looking at creating an event to bring in your audience, to bring in your community, to bring in your campus, to do that networking, to do those sales and enrollment events. So when I'm connecting with one of my new clients, I'm asking them, really, what is the vision? What is the end result? What are we looking to do? When the audience leaves at the end of your event, what are they walking away with? And from there is what we're going to determine whether you do an in-person or whether you do a virtual, or if you even want to even look at hybrid, we would go from there.
Shay, let me ask you a question. How long ago did you start Grace and Ease Productions? Because I want the audience to understand who we have on the show right now and why they should be listening to you.
Yeah, absolutely. So I officially started my business in 2014, but I think I've really been planning and producing my events my entire life. To the point where you're like, okay, everybody come over. We're going to do a pool party, and then we're going to design hats, and then we're going to have a pizza party, and then we're going to do this and have a movie night. So I think I've always had it in me, but officially it started in 2014. And really, if I look at it right before I dove in to be an entrepreneur, it was right before it that I noticed, I kind of have a knack for this. I might need to look into it a little bit further and creating it as something that I can actually earn money with.
So how did you make that leap?
I was actually speaking. So I was at an event that was like New Year, New You. And it was a multi-speaker event. It was all about, I was teaching appreciation marketing. And the guy ahead of me, because we would swap microphones back and forth, I was just jokingly going, hey, dude, don't go spitting on my mic. And he's like, you're funny. Who are you? Right? And come to find out, he was the head of education for Dr. Oz's nonprofit.
Wow.
And I was like, oh, that's really cool. I met his sister, Saval, when I was at Maria Shriver's women's conference, when she was the first lady of California, where I'm from. And he's like, no way. She's best friends with our CEO. And we're doing a women's conference, you should help us. And I was like, okay. And, I ended up becoming an associate producer for them, in charge of over 70 speakers and over 100 volunteers. That was my first gig.
While you would have us believe that you were at the right place at the right time, we're not buying it. So my wife and I just planned a wedding this past November. And as Matt likes to say about me, what's that term you use once in a while? Cheap bastard. We did not hire an event planner or a wedding planner. So we did everything by ourselves. And I can confirm that there is a skill set to pulling off a smooth event. What skills does Shay Wheat have?
Well, part of our company is we believe, one, we've got your back and everything is figure outable. And how do we make it happen? On top of that, the whole reason the company is called Grace and Ease Productions is because we really strive to do things with grace and ease. So when I started my business, I knew I had a knack for event production and event planning. And I'm also a Reiki master, which is an energetic healer. And to be a Reiki master, my kind of skill set with that is to ground out the energy, meaning events can be crazy. They can be chaotic. That's where you kind of get the bridezillas. If you're doing a wedding, you can get the crazy event hosts. They're flailing around all over the place. They're up until 3 a.m. in the morning, still working on their slides the day before the event. When we come in, we kind of allow them to go, oh, thank God. Like, you guys handle the logistics. You handle the negotiations with the AV team. You handle the stuff with all of the hotel. You handle the creating a studio for me. You handle that. So I can show up and do what I do best, which is connecting with my audience and getting them crazy awesome results. So I think that's the special secret sauce that our team brings, is the grace and ease.
When people think of events, and I know I speak to a lot of business owners, I go to a lot of events, right? And I'm always awed at these events where they're put on. And I know some other business owners look at these events as a cost and they don't see the value in there. Can you give us some type of events that will benefit small and medium-sized business owners and reasons for them to put them on?
There's actually like 17 different types of events that you can be doing and planning within your company and your business. Depending on the phase of business that you're in, you're going to be doing certain types of events. So if you're in, let's just say phase 4, which is, the latter part of growing your business, you have an audience, you know how to gain leads, you know how to make sales. You're now looking to scale and leverage what it is that you're doing on a 1-to-many ratio. So you're looking for an event that's like on a stage. Let's say you have a program that you sell for $4,000, $5,000, okay? And you're looking to host a 1-day event. You want to have, let's just say 50 people in the room. So one thing you do is you fill the room for 50 people. You sell a $147 ticket. So you get a little income coming in the front. You get them crazy awesome results during the event itself. It's just a 1-day. And then towards the end, you end up making an offer into your $4,500 program. Even if just 20% of the room say yes to your offer, that's 10 people. That's $45,000 right there in a 1-day event. So that's just one example of how you can utilize events to then support them for the next 6 months or year long in your programs or your packages, right? That's one way to do it. So it's not just an upfront ticket cost. That's kind of a low piece that comes in the front, but it's the back end that you end up really making some money.
Grace, Grace, I keep saying Grace and Ease. I keep Shay. I'm so sorry. I apologize. It's not going to happen again. So Shay, I see all these high level events, everybody from Grant Cardone to other influencers putting on all these events, and they're bringing in a lot of celebrities. Now, do they pay these celebrities to come in, or do they actually get to sell stuff from the stage as well to make their speaking fee? And how would somebody go about even getting these celebrities?
I've had one of my clients bring in Gary Vee as a celebrity. So you can absolutely reach out to celebrities and pay their speaking fee. If you tend to do one or the other, right? If you're paying them a speaking fee, then they're not going to sell anything on the back end. If they're coming in to speak for free, then they'll want to sell something on the back end. So it's kind of one or the other.
I know there's going to be a scale, right? But what is the average cost of getting a speaker into, let's say, a big name like Gary Vee? I know there's going to be a gigantic variable there.
Yeah.
What would you say a lower level speaker would be, a mid-level and a high level starting prices?
I mean, you can bring somebody in for, as little as $10,000, and then you can be spending $100,000 for somebody. So it really depends on how you're looking to utilize them to support your event, right? So if you're going to bring in a high level speaker and spend $50,000, you want to go ahead and we actually support you with this. It's like, okay, part of your budget is you're spending $50,000 on a keynote. how are we making that money back? What is the ROI? How are we supporting you in making that and then some? Because we don't want you to just come in even. We want you to be making a profit out of the event.
Shay, we realize you're also still doing virtual events. How can you create with those virtual events like that sensibility, that charisma that doesn't naturally transmute through video, and you lack the intonation, you lack the body language, you lack that hand holding. How can you try to replicate that on video?
Yeah, that was the biggest piece for when we went into lockdown was how do we create the magic that happens with live in person to live virtual? And what we do is we love the platform Zoom, honestly. The main reason being is I can still see your face. I can see you kind of tilt your head and go, what? And kind of have that question mark look on your face. I could see you holding up your emoji sticks and being like, yeah, I get it. I'm hearting you. That comes in swag boxes or virtual swag on your dashboard. I could see people ringing their little dinging bells. I can see you dancing when we have dance breaks. I can see all of that. And the great piece is it's actually highly experiential. We didn't realize how much it was going to be in the virtual space, but I actually prefer it in some situations because I can have a wall. I can create a studio for my speaker, and they can see 100 people, 200 people, 400 people. There's one event where I had 15 different Zoom rooms all mushed together with 100 people in each Zoom room. So she could see everybody in front of her and actually feel like the audience feels like they are sitting in the front row and they can raise their hand. And, I could call on you because I can see you and I can see your name more so than you could when you were in person and have your like itty bitty name tag. And you're like kind of eyes scrunching and going, what, you right there, go ahead and get up and say something.
Shay, but isn't that difficult? I mean, can you get Matthew to do a Zoom dance right now?
Heck yeah, I can get Matt. He's shaking his head. He's like, yeah, no, that's not happening. Come on, what if I give you some hearts here, Matthew? Like,
No.
does that work?
I think I need another shot before that. So what type of budgets should small business owners realistically plan for when planning a type of event? Or do you pick how many people you want there first and reverse engineer it?
We do a lot of reverse engineering. Absolutely. So it's like, what is the intention? What are we looking to do? What is the outcome? What is the audience walking away with? What are you walking away with? And then we plan it backwards from there. If you want to bring in 10 new people into your program, how many people have to be in the room? How many tickets do you have to sell in order to get that many people into the room? If you're not looking to sell a program and you're just looking to have more of an intimate networking type of feel to it and maybe create business afterwards, maybe you're looking at a ticket price at the front end in order to cover the costs, right? So it depends on the type of event that you're looking to host. That's going to determine the budget you're looking to play with. But I've seen budgets that are, ranging from very, very little, where it's virtual and everybody's just jumping on, to once you're in person and you're sitting around a conference room table, to when you're creating a studio or you're in person for 3 days at a hotel and you've got food and beverage and hotel nights and everything else. That can go, 75, 100K, and as little as, just the cost of your team and the support of showing up.
Shay, but you've taught me something recently where we always thought that events were, hey, let's get together, have a party, but you actually have a strategic purpose to your events. The events help you to scale and leverage. You've come up with a really wonderful marketing tool. Walk us through your 5 phases of events to scale your business.
Yeah, absolutely. So in all of my conversations with event hosts, I was finding that they were in different phases of their business and they should not be doing certain events at certain times in their business. So when you're just starting out, you're in phase 1. This is the validate phase. In validate, your primary goal is to get clients and get them crazy awesome results because you're brand new. You don't know what it is that they need. You don't have any clue of what it is that you're offering. So you need to do market research. You need to start making offers. You need to start, bringing in the clients and getting them crazy awesome results and then rinsing and repeating. In order to then move into phase 2, you want to make sure that you actually have like 8 to 10 full paying clients with testimonies. That means you have proof of concept.
Hey, Shay, let me ask you this though. A lot of our clients, right? And a lot of people in the audience that are listening right now, they don't have like digital products to sell, right? So they're usually service-based providers. So would you just tell them to come up with a program beforehand, before even launching an event, so they have something to sell while they're there?
It doesn't have to be digital at all. It
Okay.
can be one-on-one VIP coaching as your service, as your offering.
Okay.
It just has to be some type of offering. Yes. So that's phase 1. Phase 2 is your visibility. So your goal is to get more visibility, right? So this is where you're going to start doing events that are your free platforms, your Facebook Lives, your Clubhouse rooms, your Instagrams. You want to be guests on other people's stages. So being on other people's webinars, their podcasts, their summits. And then you're going to start taking a look at sponsoring other people's events and being like a speaker sponsor on their stages that have your niche in the room. So they're doing the work to bring them in. You're paying the event host to show up and make a free offer to their audience. So in order to move to phase 3, you need to get more leads, book more strategy calls, sell, have more conversations, make more offers, and get to a point where you're really reaching like $5,000 or more consistently. And that moves you into phase 3, which is grow. This is where you're going to continue to increase your visibility, and you're going to obtain like larger speaking sponsorships. Okay. You get to the point now where you're bringing in a consistent $10,000 a month in your business. You're starting to bring on team that's taking things off of your plate so that you can focus on continuing to give crazy awesome results in order to move into phase 4, which is scale. And this is where you are looking to scale your business and your systems, and then creating about 20,000 or so a month consistently. And this is where you're really looking to change your one-on-one sales conversations into a one-to-many model. And that's where you're looking to start doing your one-day enrollment events, your retreats, your workshops, growing your team so that they can support you and support your clients, and really focusing on generating the leads to continue to fill your events and your programs. And then that brings us to phase 5, which is leverage. And that is your goal to be just staying in your genius zone, is really in phase 5. Continue to grow your client base, delegating to your team, establishing systems, because this is where I think I've heard one of your other podcasts where they were talking about implementers and being the CEO versus the entrepreneur, right? This is where you are becoming more of that CEO role. And you're looking to create events where you are doing like a 3-day sales and enrollment event. You've got the team, you've got the programs, everything. It's starting to work like clockwork. And now you can really create a community of raving fans and continue to offer your high ticket programs in that one-to-many model.
I think everybody is going to have to listen to that again, because she just gave you the keys to the kingdom that I've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars to learn, probably in less than 3.5 minutes. That was amazing. But no, even better than that, Grace put together a gift for all the listeners right now. Grace, you want to tell them about the gift and where they can find it?
Yeah, absolutely. It's 5phases.info/liquid. And that's spelling out the word 5, F-I-V-E, phases with an S.info/liquid.
That was amazing. Yeah, guys, go get your 5 phases of events from Grace. And I'm telling you right now,
Shay.
I did it again. So Grace and Ease Productions.
Like, oh my God, he did it again. I'll take it. It's a fun
Don't
thing.
worry. Don't worry. He calls me liquid.
I gotta stop drinking.
5 o'clock somewhere.
So Shay,
Yeah.
you've done it all. You've done small events, you've done large events, you've done virtual, in person, exclusive, intimate. What's next in store for Grace and Ease Productions?
Yeah.
What's your 3.0?
My 3.0 for sure. Well, I mean, just for our business itself is, I've got a great, amazing team. And so it's continuing to grow the team so I can support more and more amazing event hosts. I mean, we've been able to create millions and millions of dollars for our clients. And if it was just me, I would only be able to do maybe 12 events a year. But having a team of people that can also create those results is really the goal. And it's not even necessarily about the money. The money is fantastic, right? I had it in December, one of our clients make $2.1 million from a 3-day sales and enrollment event.
Wow.
Fantastic. Blew her socks off. However, that also means she changed the lives of thousands of people because they showed up to the event, got crazy awesome value, maybe didn't join her program. You have the ones that did join the year-long program and will continue to grow and have that accountability and that support. So even if they work with you or they don't work with you, they still get results to do the next best step for them. And that's really why we're in it, is to create that wave of change.
Shay, give us one success story. Like, what was one event where everything was humming on all cylinders? The vibe was great. The food was superb. Everyone was participating. Give us that success story.
I think you get bits and pieces of that in every single one. The way I've always seen and experienced as events is it's a living, breathing entity. No matter how many times we will do the same event with the same client year over year, it's different every single time. And we always post event do a recap of like, what was great and amazing? What can we do better? What do we want to change? Right? Even though we will do the same event over and over and over, it's never perfect because we're not perfect. We're human beings having this human experience. And the event will change because of the people that show up in the room. So we will pivot in the moment and change things around. And when you do that, you also open yourself up for it not to be perfect, right? So I don't know if there's anything that's ever been exactly perfect, but I've had bits and pieces where the food has been amazing because we've brought in a personal chef and it was a virtual event and the team was fed like kings and queens, right? And so we were energized to come back and serve even more. I've had events where we would be, I'm getting goosebumps right now. You just have that one powerful story that somebody comes up to the microphone and they go, I don't know where I would be if I didn't say yes to come to this, but now I realize why, and here's why. And the whole room is in tears because of what transpired for this person and the experience that they had because they said yes and they showed up, right? It's those moments that I think just stick with you wherever you go.
Shay, can you give us an example of an event that went absolutely wrong? Kind of like calling the guest the wrong name throughout the whole show, something like that.
Matthew's 30th birthday party.
Yeah, those ones stick with you too. So it's fascinating, right? The times when there's this one in particular where the client was like, I know what we're doing. My team's going to handle this. We don't need you to do this. We don't need you to do that. We don't need you to do this. And they kind of kept taking things off of the plate of what they wanted us to handle and not handle, to the point where their team was going to handle and control all of the applications that came in. And at that point in time, they were like stapling checks and things to the applications. This was an in-person event years ago. So they were filling out all their information. They had things, their address, they're signing stuff, they're stapling checks, they're controlling and handling it all. And normally our team is a part of that, watching everything. And if anything, collecting everything, we put it in a lockbox and we have it on our person at all times. Okay. But their team wanted to handle it, and they were very persistent on handling it. So I walk by on one of the breaks and see that there's just a check chilling on the back table. And so I go by and I pick it up and I give it to, the person controlling it. And they're like, oh, yeah, I left that there for a reason. And I'm like, well, we can't be leaving people's checks lying around on the table unattended. Okay. Come now to the end of the event. Oh my gosh, you guys. Whew, okay. Everything's getting cleaned up. We've picked everything up. We've gone to dinner. We're done. We're celebrating an amazing event. We go to bed. It's now like 1 a.m. and I get a phone call from the event host going, hey, do you have all of the sales and enrollment papers? No, you wanted your team to handle that. Like, that was their thing. They had it all. Her team didn't have it. They lost it. So we go down to the ballroom. The crew had already cleaned everything up. They'd already thrown everything away. We're looking in trash cans. We find the envelope. We open up the envelope. There's nothing in it. We're calling the hotel. They're taking us to the dumpster in the back of the hotel where they use this massive trash compactor. My AV team is in the trash compactor looking for these forms. Yeah, that one was a rough one.
I thought you were just going to say, we didn't have power for an event. I didn't think anybody was going to be running through garbage cans. That's crazy.
Yeah, that was a very intense one. And so, great lesson for me. That's like, no, we have these systems and processes in place for a reason. We do this for a living. Let us help you create an amazing experience. And there's a reason and rhyme for everything we do. So yeah, case in point, I'm keeping those things from here on out.
Shay, there's also another role you play in the mechanism of event planning. You're also a certified event producer.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us, how does one go about training a newbie to the field in becoming a certified event producer?
Yeah, absolutely. So as I was growing my business, I was realizing that there aren't a whole lot of people that know how to run sales and enrollment events specifically, right? They might be party planners or wedding planners or, meeting planners and go through like something kind of more formalized, but they don't actually get the hands-on knowledge of how to, leading into an event, set up the team for success, because you're coming in as a certified event producer into somebody else's team, right? They could have a team of 3 people. They could have a team of 20 people. And you have to come in as the leader to give them the 30,000-foot view of what it is that we're doing, as well as get down into the nitty-gritty and down to the minute when we do our virtual run of shows. Minute by minute, we know what's happening. And so you have to lead your team. And I was noticing that there wasn't any training out there for somebody to support an event host at the level that we need them to. So I put together a certification that does just that. Not only do they have essentially my business in a box of all of the systems, all of the spreadsheets, all of the meetings, everything we do in each meeting, but then they actually get to come and shadow events with us. They actually get to be a part of the dream team and lead people and see how I lead people. How do I have hard conversations with team members? How do I love them and lead them at the same time? So it's kind of a combination of the theory and the brain piece, as well as utilizing the hands-on experience that they can then go and either create their own business with or stay with us under our umbrella and support our clients.
Shay, thank you so much for being here. And we want to be respectful of your time. We really appreciate everything that you dropped. We're definitely going to be looking at the 5 phases of events. And I think all the listeners should go out there and get their hands on a copy of it too, because I think it's something moving forward that could really propel your business to the next level if you're not doing events already. But Shay, before I let you run, I do have a question for you. If you could describe yourself in 1 word, what would it be?
Graceful.
Right? I know. I'll take it. Graceful. Yes, I really would though.
Awesome.
I like that.
Shay Wheat, thank you for being here. Sorry I butchered your name. Guys, we'll see you on the next episode of the Liquid Lunch Project.
Thank you for listening to the show. And make sure you subscribe, leave a review, and share it with a friend. We'll see you on the next episode of the Liquid Lunch Project.